What is going on, guys? It's Kitten of Doom, and today we are going to be going over Chang'e, her abilities, and how I built her in Season 4. So right off the bat, we're going to start with her passive. Her passive is called Jade Rabbit. Chang'e can purchase or sell items from anywhere, and her Jade Rabbit companion will fetch them. When the rabbit reaches the store, then returns, the transaction is complete. Only one item can be purchased or sold in this way at a time. Chang'e also gains plus 25% movement speed with no backpedal penalty when using her dances. And just a side note on this, the Jade Rabbit moves at 3.5 times Chang'e's movement speed. And her passive actually doesn't work in the game mode of Assault, so that's something to keep in mind. And I can't remember the exact time it takes for the rabbit to get back to the fountain, but I think it might be around 2 minutes. You do want to be careful with this passive, though. If you accidentally buy the wrong item and, the bunny's already sent off, then you can't undo that transaction, so always just be careful when you're out on the map trying to buy things. I'm sorry, I can't really demonstrate it here in jungle practice because you can just buy items anywhere, but basically you can just go in the store menu, buy an item, and then the bunny just leaves you for around 2 minutes, and then he comes back with your items, so it's pretty cool how she never has to leave lane or anything like that. Chang'e's first ability is called Crescent Moon Dance. Chang'e flings a crescent moon in an arc, dealing damage to all enemies in its path. And a note on this ability is that the ability's hitbox sweeps left to right in a cone in front of Chang'e. So this is what the ability looks like, just showing you that it goes left to right, and this is basically Chang'e's main poking / damaging ability. The cooldown is so low on this when you get some CDR on her. Right now it's 4 seconds. I believe even with Chronos Pendant or max cooldown it can go even lower than that. So this is what Chang'e is hated for, because her cooldowns are so good that she can just keep poking you down until you die, pretty much. So she is pretty good. The second ability is called Moonlit Waltz. Chang'e performs an evasive spin dance. She is unable to be hit during the action. For each tick of damage from an ability or basic attack that was avoided, Chang'e restores mana to herself and allies. So this ability is the funnest ability in SMITE, I believe, and it's definitely a free get out of jail free card. It's like a free Aegis and beads. She can get out of so much stuff with this. I do recommend putting it on instant cast so you can, just instantly get out of whatever you need to get out of. But she can get out of pretty much everybody's ultimates with this if you time it right. So I'm going to see if I can time. Yeah, like, you just don't get hit. Just immune every bit of damage. It's so good. And people also hate Chang'e for this ability. I believe it's the best ability in the game. And right now with this build, you have like a 9-second cooldown, so every 9 seconds you can just be immune to whatever you feel like. So love this ability. Her third ability is called Moonflower Dance. Chang'e twirls, scattering flowers around her, and healing herself and all nearby allies, and damaging nearby enemies. Moonflower Dance also reduces the healing of nearby enemies. So the healing reduction on this is 50%, and radius is 30. And a note on this ability is that the hitbox moves clockwise around Chang'e. And this is what her third ability looks like in the radius. So you can just see it moves clockwise, and then you heal all of your allies in that range. This is another pretty good damaging ability, even though it heals. So right now it can be doing 5-10. So you can see the effect on Odin. It's just reducing whatever healing he's going to take, in the next couple seconds. And her ultimate is called Waxing Moon. Chang'e's Waxing Moon dance is captivating, with the dance dealing damage and stunning enemy gods in front of her. Each subsequent god that gets stunned is stunned for longer than the previous one. So this is actually the longest stunning ultimate in the game. If you can hit all 5 of the enemy team with one ultimate, the last god in that hit chain will be stunned for 5 seconds. And this can be super annoying if you're just stunned for so long. Her ultimate is really good at a number of things. You can save people with the stun, you can initiate with her stun, you can secure a lot of objectives like Gold Fury and Fire Giant because it does a shit ton of damage. Right now on this level 20 rod does like 950, so her ult is insanely good, and it's on around like a 63-second cooldown. Her ult has the longest stun in the game, so I believe she's definitely one of the top mages. Definitely in Season 4, because she can pretty much fill any role in Conquest. She can go mid, jungle, solo, support, pretty much everything that isn't carry, because that really wouldn't make any sense. But she can go in like all of the other roles and do just fine. I want to go over kind of what her ability combo is. Since her 3 does some reduced healing, you always kind of should initiate with that first just to reduce their healing, and then go in with your 1, you know, do some auto attacks until your cooldowns are reset, and just, you know, keep on damaging them every couple seconds. Chang'e's really good at, you know, evading and just dancing around and just killing you. Since her passive makes her, you know, just flow when she dances. I think that's what makes her so much fun to play, is she can just dance around you or dance around the enemy and they get fucked. And obviously with your ult, you could even initiate with your ult and then 3 and then 1. Some other things you could do, you could just do 1 and then 3 is another thing. It's kind of up to personal preference, but you should want to really reduce their healing first. Your 1 will come up before your 3 anyway, so then you could just do like 3, 1, and then wait a couple seconds and then hit your 1 again on them. So that's something you could do. I feel like you can build Chang'e so many different ways. This build I have right now is just pure damage with Paulnomicon and all these other things, but yeah, you could just build her so different. I always do cooldown boots on her just because cooldowns on her are insane. You can also pick up pen boots if you don't really value the cooldowns, and she'll just hurt that much more with pen boots. And even support, you can go like traveler shoes or even cooldown boots as support. I feel like Conquest, she definitely has mana issues, so I always like picking up Book of Thoth on her. It just gives her pretty much almost unlimited mana throughout the whole rest of the game when you get it all the way stacked, and does a lot of damage also. So I would highly recommend getting Book of Thoth. And also another core item in Conquest, I think, is to get Shield of Regrowth. Gives her 300 health, HP 5, MP 5, and 10% cooldown reduction. And whenever she uses her 3, she gets this insane speed boost that just makes her so fast. And you can pretty much never catch her when she has the Shield of Regrowth passive on. So I would highly recommend Shield of Regrowth, especially in Conquest. Other game modes, I think you can get away with not building that. Then I would pretty much go pen next. She's pretty much good with any of these. I mostly do Obsidian Shard, but then you could also pick up Divine Ruin if they have healers on the other side. Spear of Deso is also another good pickup on her with the additional cooldown reduction. And then, the passive even helps her even more. If she gets a kill or an assist, you can get your cooldowns reduced by another second, so that's insane. And then, oh, she can just go so many different things. Like, if you want her to be even more tanky and still do some damage, you could choose your pick of Gem of Iso or Ethereal Staff. Ethereal Staff will give you that extra 20% crowd control reduction and health, and your abilities deal bonus magical damage equal to 5% of their max health. So this is another good pickup you could potentially get on her. Gem of Iso is also really good. Since you hit your abilities often, you can just slow them with your 3 and your 1. I usually opt for either one of these in Conquest if I want to be more tanky, and then another option you could even do is Rod of Asclepius. Gives you some more movement speed, and just increases your healing to any allies you have around you. So I'll just pick up Gem of Isolation right now. Then obviously the last item you always want to get, Rod of Tahuti. Just increases your magical power by a lot. Just makes her really good. So I would typically do something like this in Conquest. You could even do something even, more tanky by like selling one of these items for like a breastplate if you wanted more cooldown, and yeah, you could just do so many different things. Even Warlock Sash for additional health. In Conquest, it kind of will take a long time to build up the stacks, but that's alright. But this is the build I typically go in something like Conquest, or even switch this for like Ethereal Staff, or if I'm just way far ahead, I could even do like double penetration or even pick up Palnomicon. Yeah, like there's just so many things you could build with her. In support, I'm trying to remember what I build when I do a support Chang'e in Conquest. Definitely Shield of Regrowth. You'd probably want to do. You could even do like our items like Gauntlet of Thieves. You could get like Mantle for the extra stun, or even Spirit Rope for more protection. These shields will do us good. Give you some good cooldown. Makes her super tanky. Go like Ethereal Staff. Probably you'd want to do like Rod of Asclepius just to help your team even more with healing. They need hope, and I'm here to give it. And then if you just want to be a selfish support and do even more damage, you could finish it off with like Rod of Tahuti or something. But you'd probably still want to be a little tankier. But if you want to go just like a full glass cannon Chang'e, just shit on people, I'd probably do that one build that I was showing earlier. And you just can do so much with this and get so many kills. The damage numbers will be a little bit higher than this with fully stacked Book of Thoth. So kind of forgot to show you guys before I sold it and lost all the stacks. But Palnomicon is definitely viable on her just because of her super low cooldowns. You could just get that proc off really often. I'd always pretty much recommend getting Shield of Regrowth and Conquest. And I wanted to go over some items that counter Chang'e. Obviously Divine Ruin, Brawler's Beatstick, and Pestilence counter her pretty well, and as well as Witchblade. And I think when hunters get something like Hasten Fatalis that can stick on her really well, that can be a problem for her. Some gods that Chang'e is weak against would be some gods like Agni, Hebo, Bastet, Bakasura, and Mercury. And Chang'e is strong against gods like Aphrodite, Hercules, Loki, Chalk, and Ares. And she counters a lot of gods just because of her immunity and can get out of, so many gods' ults. But especially Ares, just because when he's about to pull you, you can just pop your 2 and you get out of it without even having to use your beads. I also, would still recommend getting beads and Aegis just for even more survivability. So you're going to be pretty hard to kill no matter what, especially if you get Shield of Regrowth, just popping that passive whenever you're in trouble, or even popping the passive to get in or chase down an enemy to get a kill. And Chang'e pairs up with gods like Ares, like Medusa, Ymir, Jing Chen, and Hercules. Just especially, with Ares and Medusa, after their ultimates, you can just use yours, hit all 5, or even, a couple gods on the other team, and it can be pretty nasty. That is going to wrap up this guide, guys. Let me know if you guys enjoyed and if you build Chang'e differently. Let me know in the comments. I'd love to see what your guys' builds are. And I'm going to attach a clip of some Chang'e gameplay and kills. And I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye.